Hi, I put everyone on mute.
Are we continuing the Ravenclaw that we started last class?
Yes. We have to finish coloring it, making the logo, lettering.
So I ended up making it a ducking claw.
Oh, okay. Wait 1 minute. Let me see. I'm going to pin it so I can see it better. Very nice. What is that thing you've written on top?
Yes, I love Harry.
You can write it better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get my headphones in, come.
Yes, yes. Let's have a look at what we have to do. And I'm going to show you one way of lettering, and I want you to play with that if you can. Okay, so we've done much of the drawing. And we need to, oh, sorry, what am I doing? Yeah. So now we need to make these curvy lines. And most importantly, we have to make this lettering. And then everything else I think is done. Okay, so this lettering is done with a flat or what's called a broad edge pen. I'm going to show you how to do that, but we don't have to do it that way. It's just one way I can show you how lettering used to be done in the past. And when we want to do some decorative lettering like that, we can use these tools to make our letters look really special.
And speaking of lettering, can I show you one thing me and my friend had to do for like our project?
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to describe what else we are doing and then I'll see your picture. All right. Okay, now these things on the sides, have you ever wondered why these lines are made? I'm sure you must have. What are these lines for? They make the banner look very interesting, no? What
And then to show the folds, like
Yes.
creases.
Creases, not creases, but yes, there's something about the folds, all right. Anything else? Does this look like anything else to you? Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, don't worry.
Lightning.
Light, okay. This is something you might not even have seen before, but once I explain the logic to you, you will understand it well enough. So in the past, before printing, before people were printing like on digital printers or even with these large machines that printed out, printing was done using a block, like a wooden block, and the design would be carved into that block, and then you would put ink on it and you can paste on it. So you can still do this with things like an eraser, a rubber eraser, where you can carve your design, and then you can put a little bit of ink on it and use that like stamps. Now, when you're carving those out, not all of the carving, so the parts that are carved out remain recessed inside. And only the stuff that has not been carved out stays on top like a layer. And that is the part where the ink fits on, and then that can be used in printing. You get me? I'll try and look for pictures like that. Now, when you're doing that carving out, sometimes all the carving doesn't come out. And that's why then a few lines remain and they also get printed. So that is represented by those lines that we have drawn. They'll be in very strategic places. And in other cases, extra lines are made so that when we have that fold in the ribbon, that fold starts looking darker so that it looks like it's a three-dimensional picture. At some point, we will make such black and white pictures also. All right. Okay. Now I want you to see this. I'm going to write Ravenclaw with a pen. You don't have to write it, but I want you to see it. This is something that you should learn at some point. I'll make you do it as well. Do you have a pen that looks like this? Does it have a flat edge? A broad edge pen, like a calligraphy pen?
Ma'am, I don't have one.
Okay, do you have something like this which says chisel marker? If you do, then you can bring that out and I'll show you how to
Ma'am,
make.
I have it, but it has the ink doesn't come properly.
Let me show you.
Okay.
Okay, these are all my rough sheets. I hardly throw out paper because I enjoy making all sorts of rough work. So whenever you're working with pens like these, or any pen for that matter, you should always keep a little bit of padding. So instead of putting it on a flat, on just a table, because the table surface is really hard. So how does our Ravenclaw look? You have a shape like this in the start. This is called a drop cap. And then you have a banner that goes down from the middle, from somewhere here and here. The line goes slightly down and up and down and up. And then it is joined. And then actually it does something like this. So this is our banner. And on this, we have one R. Oh, this can be a little narrower, I think. No. And then you have A, B, E, N, C. Now you can make the size of these letters according to your banner. So how do you do this? When your banner is like that, without writing the letters and then erasing them, you should first put dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then right on top of those dots, you can write the letters. All right. You understood this part? Now I'm going to make the letters themselves. So I just want you to see this. We are going to make letters very differently, but I want you to see this. Now these letters are made by using a particular sized pen. This pen has got, when I draw a line, it becomes a nice fat line in one direction. And then if I hold it flat, it'll make a thin line. So in order to write A, I'm going to hold my pen at a particular angle, just slightly at 45 degrees. And without changing the angle of the pen, I am going to make a shape like that. And I'll be able to make all the shapes with just this. By making the line thick and thin, by just not moving the pen.
That looks so cool.
Isn't it? Yeah. We will definitely be doing this. Maybe I can show you this alphabet in the next class.
It looks printed.
Yeah. But see, in one shot, you can make these letters. And aren't they just the best? So if you learn how to make letters like these, imagine, even if you want to write something like notes in your class, you could easily use letters like these. That's what I do.
So how do you do that in cursive?
This in cursive?
Yeah. Like
Cursive,
with calligraphy pen?
yeah, but cursive will be different. 1 second, let me just finish the R as well. So here now, look at how I'm doing. I'm adjusting the pen. I'm going to make it straight. Now, these things require practice, but it's always at least good to watch. So here now, I'm going to start changing the angle of the pen and bring it straight down. And then the same trick is used. I don't change. I keep the angle the same for everything else. There. See, in one shot. So you don't really need to do the other lines at all. And the rest of the lines are drawn like these. Of course, you have to take a different pen and you will make a double line. So you will make a line inside and outside so that you get a nice thickness. And you fill this up. All this is just drawing. And then you make these extra lines or along the edge, a few lines here. There's one line that runs on the inside of the R. And the lines over here are made.
Ma'am, you were going to explain why those lines.
These lines, right? Or these ones?
Yeah, those ones.
So let me explain to you. This is what is called a woodcut design. When you have a wooden panel and then you chisel out the design from that in reverse, so that when you print it, you see the letters. So the woodcut of this would be, say this is the wood. And I'm going to chisel out, I'm going to keep only, my design is going to be like that, not just so much. Actually, it might be, this is how the woodcut would be. And my design in that is going to be something like this.
I'm like, it's backwards?
Yes. Because, can you guess why it is backwards?
Mirror effect?
Yes, mirror effect. But why do you think we need mirror effect? It's okay if you can't guess it, because this is such an old technique. It's almost impossible to imagine how these guys did it. So imagine this is my design. Okay. I have to cut out all of the parts where the letter is not there. So I'll cut off all of this. It's like scraping. Have you scraped anything out before? So I'm scraping all of this out. You've seen how wood can be shaved off?
Yeah.
So I shave everything off. Now, when I'm shaving, some places I will leave some parts because it gives a nice dimension. Now imagine, this is my nice thick wooden piece. And all these things are raised. Can you imagine them? Slightly raised. They're slightly raised up.
So he's doing it backwards. So when he flips it, that will become like
Correct. Very good. Yes, that's how it works. So I will take this and then I will turn it around and I'll carefully place it over here. First, I'll of course put ink on it. So there will be a roller. The roller looks like that. And there will be a tray which will have all the ink.
We used that when we were painting one cupboard in my house.
Ah, it's almost the same thing. And there will be some gloopy ink over here. So you roll, then you put the ink on this, and then you take this thing and you flip it and you print it. That is what a woodcut design is. Got it? Okay. So now you know all this. Now just the last part. The same kind of woodcut design effect is shown over here, where you make some lines like that. You make them like slightly thicker on one side where you want them to look like there's a shadow, and then thinner on the other side. Like even over here, I will make them slightly thicker on the turn so that it looks like there's a shadow, and then slightly thinner over here. And they're all following the curve of this edge. Now, if I don't follow the curve, it will not look like a three-dimensional curved design. That's it. That's how you do it. Okay. Now, for our case, we have the same letter. How will we draw it? You can first draw the letter like that. Just first, you will make a baseline and an X line. So this is baseline. Oh, can you not see it? Sorry. An X line. And you seat all your letters over here in this with a little gap in between. So you will sit them like that. A little gap, V, and make the same shapes that you see on your on the logo.
Why is the line of the E tilted?
Line of the E is tilted because just for stylization. This is based on some letters which are called Gothic letters, and those letters were written like that. And in that, even the letter for the A, this would be a slanted letter. See, even this would make for a very beautiful script, right? All right, let's begin. Now that you've understood how we have to proceed, and I'm going to show you how to do this a little bit later also, double line. Let us first begin with drawing all our
Show you one font.
forms over here. Sorry?
I was going to show you one font me and my friend made.
Yes, yes. Now you can show me. While everyone else also, you can see Alia's, and also you can start your own letters. Make sure that the X line, the base line and the X line
My
is...
letters?
Listen. Make sure that your base line is slightly lower, X line is somewhere in the middle, because we have to accommodate an L. See, the L will go higher. So you'll need a little extra space on top than the bottom. Yes, Leela, let's see your font. Let me,
Since this is like an imaginary logo that I'm creating, can I do my own?
very nice. 1 second. Huh? Very nice, Leela. Yes, Alia, what was your question?
So since this is like an imaginary logo that I'm creating, can
Okay.
I make my own kind of a font?
You can, of course, but I'm going to suggest first use the opportunity to make this properly, because you can learn a lot from this design, and then remake everything in your design, because then that way you have learned the whole process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't be in a rush to make your own design before you've learned everything. Okay, so I have made this box within the drop cap letter. See this? And inside this box, I'm going to draw the shape of the R. Since we don't know how those letters are made, we can just draw them out. And because the letter R has got a lot of space around it, make sure that you leave that space from the edge. This used to be my favorite thing, to make letters. I still enjoy writing all these letters. And when we were younger, of course, we didn't have any internet. So I didn't even know that these letters can be written with tools like these. Can you imagine? And somehow I found a book, then I found the tools. I used to make my own tools. And I figured out. Now, even these letters, Ravenclaw, can be written by making blocks. So you make space for them, the same rectangular space with space in between. R-A-V-E-N C-L-A-W. Once you make space like that, it becomes easier to then draw the form. The edges of these letters are not all smooth, so you must remember that when we are drawing it. And as you're going along, make double letters. Wherever the letter turns, there it is a thin line. That's just how the original font might have worked. Shall we do this in September? Do you want to learn these Gothic fonts? Then the whole month we can learn these fonts, this font, or something like that. L doesn't need such a big thing. And W needs a lot of space. After you've made the whole design in pencil, we have to make an outline. So the outline should be very carefully made. Just check how the line looks from one side first. And then from when you are turning it around, how will you make those dents? Just make tiny V shapes in the line, like a little dent inside. Like this. Let me show you one more time. This line is going straight, you make a little V shape inside. And again, it's going straight, a little V shape inside. And it doesn't have to be the same distance apart. And here it's not just a point. Again, it's like a half a V shape over here. And then it comes up. So we can make this outline in pen or in very dark pencil, and then we can paint it. You don't have to color this in with a micron pen because it'll take too much ink. And every line you make, look at the logo if you can, or just follow my design.
Ma'am, you had asked for a chisel tip ka thing. Will a Sharpie work?
Sharpie, as long as it has a chisel tip, but I don't know if all Sharpies have chisel tip.
Like this.
See, already it's looking. Oh, let me see. Can you turn it around, round and round a little bit? No. So this Sharpie doesn't have a chisel edge. A chisel edge is like that. See, it has a flat end on one side,
Oh.
like this. And this is a very cheap 10 rupee pen you can get. An Alpha chisel or Luxor super chisel. But we won't do it now.
I have a super chisel marker. Does that work?
Don't do it now. We'll do it later.
I have this Luxor super chisel.
You do have it. We'll do it later, but don't do it right now because you won't be able to manage this script today. So we'll do it another time.
And I found a chisel tip, but it's pink.
That's fine. Next week, let's bring all those pens out and let's have fun with those.
Okay.
So there's this thing which I saw called a 3-marker character design challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to like whatever markers you have, whatever colors you don't really use a lot, you get those out and then you close your eyes and you pick 3 random colors
Mm-hmm.
and then you design a whole character with those 3 colors.
That's a very nice challenge.
I did it and mine turned out super weird.
It turned out what?
Super weird.
Super weird is actually a great way to to go. Because if it is regular, then it's not imaginative, you know.
Yeah,
So-
but it was like nice. It looked weird, but it looked nice.
Good.
I really don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, no, it does make sense. Weird and nice can go together. Are you able to draw it, girls? Are you able to draw the logo? If you have a problem, if there's some letter you can't make, or you can't figure out where a line goes or how to draw it, do ask me. I'm here for that. Remember to write your letters within these 2 lines. We can always erase afterwards, no? And suppose now there's this hollow inside A and you can't draw it. Here's a trick that I use. This line has to go straight down, isn't it? So you just take it straight down. And then from there, you will make a line come out. So first you make the inside line, the hole. Then you can make the outside line.
Mom, I messed up the final.
Why? What happened? Let me see.
So, no, I just ended up doing it all plain.
That's okay. That's okay. That's not a big deal.
I'm doing the one which we're doing on another page.
So I should have actually made you write all this in rough first. Because I made it in rough, but I didn't make you do it in rough. Because these are the things that happen often. And then when you make it in rough, you realize what mistakes you've made or what you've forgotten to make, especially when you're recreating a design. Never mind, it's okay. We can still go with it. Now, the rest of the places you can make that line. So I'm going to make a double line in these places, and the ends, the edges over here. In some places, I'm going to make it dented inside. The other lines also, you can make them like that. And these you can color up because then we can paint on top of it. They need to be thick on the outside edge, towards the outside edge, and thin coming inward. If you can do it. Otherwise, just make a few lines like that. It'll still look like the same thing. And of course, in a few places, you can also make some dots. And then across this whole thing, just make a few dots like that. So then it looks like a wooden texture. Not all over. It should not look like a polka dotted board or that this particular board has got chicken pox. Don't make too many dots. Our entire design has got really nice thick black lines to make it very robust. All these lines are actually very thick, so you can make a thick outline first. And then in these you can make same kinds of lines. Now remember, they always follow the curve. And if you're not sure about these lines, first make them in pencil and then make them in pen. I have myself designed a lot of things like these. So now I know where the lines have to be made. So it's a little easier for me, but it may not be that obvious and easy for you the first time round. So first make it in pencil, check that your pencil lines are looking good, and then make it in pen. And what is this design style called? Yes?
So I just have a small question.
Yeah.
It's not really related to this.
Huh.
So a lot of my friends are going in for elementary art exam.
Huh.
So, like, I was wondering, what exactly do we have to do in that?
In elementary art exam, they check for your art skills, how well you can make art. So they will give you a topic. There are 4 topics now, usually. They give you a nature illustration, they will give you some design. There's a paper on geometry, how to make geometric shapes. That's a wonderful paper. I really loved it. And then there's something else which I can't remember, but you can always find out.
So, like,
yeah.
should we, so can I give, so
What class are you in, Alia?
I'm in 7th.
Okay, then give the elementary exam next year if you can.
Okay.
Because by next year you will your skill will be slightly better than this year, and you want to aim for an A grade in elementary. And it's all, since it's all skill based, it all depends upon how much control you have on the line. It has nothing to do with how much you like art. So you may like art a whole lot, but that can't be tested, unfortunately. So they will check you. So they check for how well you can make it. And you can always make it better when you're slightly older.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's another exam called intermediate. And the intermediate exam you should give in the 11th standard.
Because a lot of my friends are
don't
going in for it next year.
Next year is fine. No, not intermediate. Don't do next year.
No. Elementary.
Yeah, elementary you can do next year, and if you want, you can start preparing from this year also.
Mom, when did you do it?
I did it exactly like that. In the 8th standard, I gave my elementary, and in the 11th standard, I gave my intermediate. And in both exams, I got a B.
You're so good at art.
Yeah, I know, but I did not become good at art because I got an A or a B in my art exam. I became good at art because I didn't care about my exam. I just want to make art all the time. So you become good at anything you do a lot of, isn't it? So it doesn't matter what you, whether you win competitions or whether you get an A or a B. There were several kids who got A's when I got a B, but now they can't do any art. Isn't it? That happens also, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I figured that it really, for admissions in colleges, it matters when you get an A. People with A, I think, are given more preference. So yes, of course, we want to aim for A. But if it doesn't happen, then your chances of getting into a college might reduce. I don't even know whether they check anymore. But it's always a good idea to give these exams. How is your logo looking now? Okay, now for this design, have you all done this chain design on the outside?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if you haven't done it, do it like how I'm doing it. you can make a line, or you can make these lines on both sides at equal distance. So these will be our chain links, or our shapes. That way they will look even throughout. So here you have a flat line. And from here you have an S shape going in one direction and S shape going in another direction. So this will help you balance the design out. Do you know how this shape is? Last time I'd shown it to you. It's from the top, it comes out like that, like a bulbous shape, and from the bottom. And then from here, you make the line come parallel down like that. Then again, from this side, you will draw a bulbous shape and it'll come down over here. And then you can take this side, this thing to the back. These shapes can be a little confusing to make first. So drawing them in pencil first is always a safer idea. But they make your design look so nice. So what you should do is, after you have drawn something like this is a house logo. Do you also have houses in your school?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what houses are those?
Jaguar, puma, share, and cheetah.
Right. So you should try making a logo like that for your house also. That's called application. Okay, before I go into that, see this place where the tail of our raven comes, please draw on top of that, so you get the right shape.
Ma'am, not in pen, right?
No, not in pen, in pencil. But otherwise, you never know how far you have to go. So once you make it in pencil, then you can always erase it afterwards. But you get the right shape. And remember to keep the same distance from both sides of this. So like we made the X line and the base line, here also you can make two lines a little away.
Ma'am, in your background, the stripes that you have drawn.
I have drawn stripes, but I have not made them dark yet.
No, I'm saying the stripes that you have drawn. Like in alternating stripes, there are vertical lines, right?
Yes. So these two are blue, and then you have the other stripes here.
Ma'am, I didn't understand how you drew the design over here.
Over here, which design? This one? Which design, Avantika? This design?
Yes, that one, ma'am.
Okay. So let me simplify. Don't make the design like you see on the in the picture. If this is, say this is the shield. Oh, let me erase this part and I'll show it to you properly. So your shield is in this shape, right? Okay. You make a line a little inside from the shield, from the edges. These are two parallel lines. Now here at the base, you will make a sleeping C shape. And then from the C shape, you will make S shapes like that. Will you be able to make it like this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just make them like that. And then afterwards, what happens to this edge? You tuck it inside. Even this will look nice.
Mom, is this good?
Let us have a look. See? Yes, it is good. It is very nice. Is it very small though? Is it
No,
kind of
so
smaller?
this was the one that I drew,
Okay.
but then I moved this.
Okay. Now this is a good thing that happens when you have a design like this and then it's broken, then you can start the design differently from here because we want, this is the center, we want a C shape again here, S shape, is it like that? No, C shape here, S shape coming down. And another S shape coming down all the way. So you can change the dimensions a little bit. Then from here, it's another nice S shape like that. Okay, chalo. Now I'm going to ink this up. And when inking, I always ink the same things, especially if there are mirrors, mirroring of the design. And you know what? Here I'm going to draw one more feather and I'm going to make it a dark black.
Ma'am, I just erased my rough and now I'm seeing how fat my raven looks.
Is it too fat?
Yes, ma'am. Overeating raven.
Overeating raven. Let me just have a look. Oh, but it's okay. It's nice. It's a chubby raven.
Ma'am, it's supposed to look scary. It's not looking scary.
Okay, here we go. And now here also, we have to do similar things from the edges, wherever it goes and touches the edge like that, you can make these lines like this. See, that is what makes the design look very filled up. 1, 2, 3, and make sure that they're in different sizes. So a lot of these designs look very detailed because of all these chotu detailing lines that you see. Otherwise, the design is simple enough, but it just starts looking very impressive because it's got so many details. All this is called detailing.
Ma'am, actually I filled the Ravenclaw.
You filled it up.
Yes, but I did it by mistake.
But that's okay. We have to fill it up anyway. We have to color it up. It's not a big deal. Okay, now I'm going to draw the vertical lines. We have another 5 minutes to finish the drawing. After this, it's going to be so easy for you to color it. Isn't it? I think you'll be able to color it, right?
Probably.
What do you mean probably? Of course, yes. Once drawing is the main part over here. Coloring, kya anyone can do. Imagine if this were a Harry Potter coloring book and the logo was given and you knew the colors. Wouldn't you be able to color it? It's just flat colors. There's nothing to it.
So, ma'am,
Yes.
I just opened up the real logo
Okay.
and I put it like on the side of the screen.
Okay.
And your logo is almost like ditto same as the one that's drawn.
Ditto same. Thank goodness it had better be. Because I'm looking at the logo. I am in front of me, I have the logo. So every line I'm making, I keep looking at the original logo to see if I'm doing it right. Good, I'm glad you think it's ditto same.
Do I have to do the same borders or can I do it differently?
It is a Ravenclaw design. So if you change anything from these designs, it changes. The logo changes, it's no longer Ravenclaw. So I'm going to recommend try making the same borders for now, because if we don't try, we will never learn this. And then at a later date, when you have to make your own logo, then you can change it and make whatever you want.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
my side design looks a little ugly.
Oh, okay. Let's have a
Should
look.
I show you?
Yes. I'm going to pin it so I can get a better look. No, this is nice. It's not ugly at all. It's nice. It's good. If this is your first attempt at making this design, I think it is really good. Okay, so most of my design is done. Now, a few tips on coloring. I'm going to start coloring right away, and hopefully I will finish the coloring today itself so I can share the design with you. Always start with the lighter colors first. So in this case, what are the colors? We have yellow. We have gray. We have a deep brown and we have a nice blue. So first, what color should we paint? What color should we paint first, girls?
Ma'am, can you repeat the colors?
I will show you. So we have yellow. We are just going to make one yellow. I think the yellow behind R looks a little dark, but I'm not going to make it like that.
From the dark part of the banner looks older than the rest.
It looks older.
Yeah, like mustier.
Yeah, it does look like that. Oh, there are 5 colors. We also have black.
Ma'am, and gray.
Yes, so we have yellow, gray, burnt umber, blue, and black. A cobalt blue should do. So let's start first with yellow. We have exactly 4 minutes. Let's see what we can do in 4 minutes. I'm going to run and get my water. Okay, I'm back. So this is all yellow.
Can I paint mine later? I feel I'll go too fast if I start.
All right. Okay. You can paint it later. In fact, all of you can paint it later. Maybe you can observe how I'm doing it right now. All our colors are flat, no? So you take a nice thick color and paint it. I love how the R is looking even without black. Just a white R is looking so much nicer. I'm tempted to not paint it now. Standing out even more. Now
Ma'am,
look at
after
her.
you told us if we change anything, it won't be Ravenclaw.
I know. I'm trapped in my own instructions. This is terrible. I have to paint it, but I'm going to paint it last, which is a good thing because anyway, black has to be painted last. Now here it can be a little difficult to dodge all these letters. So I'm going to suggest just paint over because anyway, it's black, right?
Ma'am, I already colored my letters.
You did? Okay. So this is for everyone else.
Ma'am, can I do color pencils?
Yeah, why not? The gray you can make by mixing a little black and cobalt blue. And this time I'm going to advise you to put a little bit of white in this. I normally don't put white. I don't make my grays with white. But for this, because we want a nice flat color and we need it uniform, it would be nice to add white, a little bit of cobalt blue, and black. So you make a nice flat gray color. And this will remain more uniform and opaque. Oh, little more white. And please test the color. It looks very different in our palette, and then on paper it looks very different. No, it's still dark. So now in some places, after you've painted, you have to see if the black lines are visible. If not, then you might have to make them again. Now the other place where we need gray are these lines. So here you should be able to tell which line is which by seeing the center. The center line is blue, and then the grays start on both sides. That is how you can begin painting. If you start from any one side, you could make a mistake, so don't bother. I think it's coming together very nicely. I am very impressed with my illustration. Are you?
Mom, it looks almost the same.
Isn't it? Yeah. I love it. I think I'm going to cut it up and put it somewhere on my fridge.
Mom, I made this one in my giant book, so it looks like a shield.
Okay, wait, there are other grays also in some places. See the beak of the eagle. Oh no, what eagle? This is a raven. And its feet are also gray. Best make them right now. All right, so now I have to let this dry. So I'm going to paint the rest of it later. Are you all good on painting? Do you have any questions?
Can I show you?
Yes, yes, Myra, let me see. Aha, how pretty. 1 second, let me see. Very nice. I think it's looking so cute. Now, one suggestion, Myra. Here, the feathers that you've made on top, there's a big blank space, isn't there? So what you can do is, see, I have a little bit of blank space here. Let me spotlight so everyone can see. I have a little blank space. In your case, the blank space is a bit more. So maybe you can draw another set of wings or feathers like that. And then bring that line down closer to the banner. If you think you can do that, do it in pencil first. See how it looks, and if you're comfortable, then you can make it in
Okay,
uh,
Mom,
color.
is there any way to make my raven look like it cared a bit more?
No. But smug ravens look pretty nice.
Now my raven isn't even smug. My raven just like, I don't care about anything.
Oh my God. Okay. So let us see. Send me a picture on the group and let me see if I can make him care a little more.
Okay.
Now, going forward, all the painting should be done slowly, very carefully, so that we don't go into the other spaces. See, already I have done that mistake. Because then it just spoils all our hard work. All right, so I'm going to wait and paint later. I don't want to spoil my painting. All right, so that's it for today then. What next week shall we bring out our chisel markers and do some lettering? Would you like that, Myra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Avantika, what do you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I'm going to share a picture of this on the group. And if you have one like that, then we'll use the same one. If you don't have it, just bring any one color you like. It can be red, there are purple, green, all sorts of nice colors. Just bring one. It's not very expensive. Do not get very expensive chisel markers and don't get a whole set. We'll get a set afterwards.
Mom,
Ma'am,
can I
I
show
don't
you
have
what
that,
I
but
have?
I have this.
Let me see. Could you put it in front of you? Could you open it up so that I can see how the tip is? Yes, we can work with this, so you don't even have to buy anything.
Mom, I have this
Mm-hmm.
and I have this, but this one doesn't work.
Hold it upright. Yeah, these will do. All right, so we'll
Mom,
take
but this one, it's like hair coming out of it.
though. Then again, these are for different. Are these what brand are these? Let me see.
Wow, it's something SH.
Okay, I have no idea what this is. Okay, never mind. So yeah, don't get any fancy stuff. Get very simple stuff.
Mom, can I walk my dog now?
Yes, you may.
Bye, thank you.
Even I'm going for a walk. Bye, everyone. Bye, girls.
Bye, ma'am.